Hey guys, what's up? This is my tutorial for If You Stay by Joseph Vincent. I'm going to teach it to you two ways today. The first way is going to be using normal chords, bar chords. I think this is the way that Joseph Vincent plays it. And then the second way is going to be the way that I actually play it. The chord shapes that I use move up and down the neck, so it's a little bit harder to play, especially up here once you get to the fatter part of the neck. But if you're willing to be a little more adventurous, I promise you it'll be useful. So without further ado, let's get started. Before you do anything else, you're going to want your guitar in standard tuning, so just E, A, D, G, B, E, nothing fancy. As for the key, I play it in G, and that's how I'm going to teach it to you, but Joseph Vincent plays it in A flat, I think. So if you want to do that, you're just going to have to put capo 1. So let's get to the chords. So the chords for the verse are G, B minor, C, and D. So I'm just going to play it through once for you guys, and then we'll break it down. And then this just repeats over and over. So your first chord is just a regular G bar chord. So it's an E chord shape, and then you just slide it up 3 frets. So if you play your E normally like this, using your index, middle, and ring finger, you're going to want to shift it all over one finger so that you have your ring finger here on the A string, your pinky on the D string, and then your middle finger on the G string, and then you're going to have it up here, so you're going to slide it 3 frets up and then bar on the 3rd fret with your index finger. So when you play it in the song, you're going to want to pluck the low E string first, and then you're going to pluck the D, G, and B strings all together, and you're going to keep doing that. So it'll sound like, and then you're going to shift over to the B minor chord. So the B minor chord is like an A minor 7, putting your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then your middle finger on the 1st fret of the B string. But then you're going to have it slid up 2 frets so that you're barring on the 2nd fret with your index finger again. So notice that I'm not barring this low E string, because we're not going to play it for the next couple of chords. It's okay not to bar all the way across the neck, because that's a lot of added stress, just as long as you don't accidentally hit the string with your thumb. So when you play this B minor, you're going to pluck the A string, not the low E string, the A string. You're going to pluck the A string, and then same thing, the D, G, and B strings. So it'll sound like, and then you're going to go to your C chord, and D, and it's the same deal. So for the C and D chords, notice that I was barring with my ring finger as well. You're going to be using the A chord shape, so your A major is just like this, but when you try barring it, it's really uncomfortable going like that, trying to get all 3 strings like that. So the way that I do it is I bar on the 3rd fret for the C chord, and then the 5th fret for the D chord, but it's the same chord shape. So for your C chord, you're going to bar everything except the low E string. Again, just make sure you don't hit it accidentally. And then on the 5th fret, I am going to bar across the D string all the way to the B string. And you're probably going to end up hitting this high E string as well, but notice it doesn't really make much sound, and because you're plucking, you're probably not going to hear it ever. So I'm going to just play it like this. That'll make things a lot easier. So you're going to play the A string again, and then the D, G, B strings, and then 2 frets up for the D, and then just rinse and repeat. So that's basically it for the verse. It's nothing too fancy. Just get used to shifting around with all the bar chords. So for the pre-chorus, the chords you're using are going to be B minor, C, and D. The chord shapes are the same ones that you learned previously in the verse, and I'll just play it for you again and then we'll break it down. It's pretty simple. So again, it's the same chords, B minor, C, D, and you're only going to be plucking the B minor and the C for half a measure. So that means you're going to be plucking the A and then the D, G, and B strings, so like this, only twice, and then you're going to shift up to your C, again only twice, and then for your D, you're going to play that for one whole measure. So you're going to be able to pluck 4 times. And then back again. And then you're going to go into the chorus. So sometimes you're going to end up, the second time around you play these chords, you're going to end up just letting the D ring. So if you were playing it like this is the second time, and just let it ring, and then you're going to go back into the chords for the chorus. So that's basically it for the pre-chorus. So the chords for the chorus are the same as the ones in the verse. It's just G, B minor, C, and D again. And you play it the exact same way, so there's really no point in teaching you guys because you already know it. It's cool. So why don't we get on to the second method that you can play if you stay. This is the way that I personally play it. So let's just get started. So the basic chord shape that I use throughout my cover of If You Stay looks a little something like this. I know it's strange, but it's actually just a variation of the bar chord. So this is your G bar chord, and the way that I would play it is like this. So you're going to have your thumb on the 3rd fret of the low E string, and then you're also going to be muting the A string with your thumb. So you're going to have to wrap your thumb around a little bit, and then you're going to have your ring finger on the 5th fret of the D string, your middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string, and then your index finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. So this is your G chord right here. For the rest of the chords, you're just going to be kind of shifting up and down the neck with only slight variation. So your C and your D chords are going to be the same shape, just like this. So for your C, you're going to start on the 8th fret, and then this is 9th fret, 10th fret. Okay? And then for your D chord, you're going to slide it up 2 more. So this is 10th, 11th, and 12th. Okay? Now for your B minor chord, this is where the slight variation comes in. So I'm starting on the 7th fret, so my thumb is on the 7th fret of the low E string, and then again muting the A string right here. And then my ring finger is going to be on the 9th fret of the D string. So notice I'm not going to be using my middle finger, my middle finger for this chord shape at all. And then for my index finger, notice I'm actually kind of barring a little bit. So I'm barring the G and the B strings. So this is where that minor third comes in, again, for all you music theory people. So that's your B minor chord. So just get used to shifting up and down and like switching fingers between the G and the B minor and the B minor and the C. It can get a little weird at first, but just the more you practice, the easier it'll become. So now for the plucking style. Joseph Vincent's version is a little bit more like, I don't know, island pop-ish. I don't know. I think of Hawaii whenever I hear him playing the song. But the way that I play it is more rhythmic. I'll play it through just to show you what I mean, and then we'll break it down. So basically the plucking pattern that you're going to be using throughout the entire song is just this. You're going to be plucking the low E string, and then you're going to be plucking the D, G, B strings, and then you're going to slap, and then you're going to pluck the same 3 strings again, and then you just repeat over and over. So you're going to do this pattern twice in a measure. It might be a good idea just to practice this plucking pattern by just muting the strings and then doing this over and over just to get used to it. Another thing to point out real quick is throughout the entire song, really the only finger that stays on the fretboard like the entire time is the ring finger, okay? Because obviously these 2 fingers kind of change up between the major and minor chords, and then I'll also sometimes lift up my thumb so I can slide up and down the neck easier. So you can use this as an anchor, just so that you're not like sliding all over the place. And it also produces some kind of cool like sliding sounds between chords, like someone actually commented on this in my cover, so I thought that would just be nice to point out. And it's pretty useful just to make sure that you know where you are on the fretboard, and you don't just kind of get sloppy and start sliding around all over the place. So that's basically it for the tutorial. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you have any more questions or comments, or if you want to see me do more tutorials, just leave a comment or message me. And yeah, I hope you guys have fun with the song, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.
Couldn't see you go.